A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Now, here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Pedersen Show, and I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and it's, meh. That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think, I want to make you feel something, and it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yeah! Welcome to the RP Show. Do you know what has me saying that?
What?
Rob Hunt checking in from Leduc, Alberta. He says, I am Rob, and I am a Rodaholic. Rob, the first step, of course, is recognizing it. Hello to Leduc, Alberta, home of the Edmonton Airport, and welcome to episode number 410 of the RP Show, Canada's daytime sports talk show. I'm glad that we got a follower out there near the City of Champions. It's going to be a really fun day. I'm fired up.
Yep.
How about you?
Oh, yeah.
Fired up in a good way.
For sure. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I think Rodaholic. We need that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, write it down.
Write it down.
We got quite a few T-shirts we got to make. Some guy from Canada, Rodaholic.
Yeah.
We've already got the Balls on the Table T-shirt. It's going over very well.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what are you all dressed up for? You got a job interview today or something?
I'm glad you think I look great. This is just kind of semi...
You know, I ran into a guy last night at Costco, Adrian. He's a cameraman from Global TV. Yo, Adrian! I used to yell at him every time I saw him. And I remember him saying, this was like 10, 12 years ago, he's like, Rod, you always dress so elegant. I was dressed like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Now I prefer hoodies and sweatpants. That's the dress code around
You've earned
here.
it.
I've earned it. Yeah, I'm that guy. So anyways, here's what's coming up on the program today, and part of why I'm so excited is we got three hockey guys, but one guy's a little more football. We got Jason Tatarnic coming in here from the Estevan Bruins. He's the head coach and general manager, and I believe he'll be with us in hour one. And as we're going to tell Jason, and I'm going to tell you, he's going to speak on behalf of junior hockey coaches all across North America. For sure Canada, but maybe the U.S. too. Jason's coached in the BCJ, the Maritime Junior Hockey League, now the SJ. Highly successful head coach until this year because they couldn't get onto the ice. And I know that he's not afraid to speak on behalf of all those folks because he's done it once already.
Yeah.
When the SJ got canceled. And then Ryan Leslie's going to join us from Sportsnet Flames, longtime buddy of mine. It's game day, and I'm going to tell you who the Flames are facing here in a minute. And then when we go to the National TV Hour in Hour 2, and where they really are digging us in Winnipeg, we're going to be joined by the sports doctor, Dave Patrician. And we'll be talking Line A, of course. Jets aren't playing tonight. But we'll probably talk a little more CFL and Bombers. So those are the guys that are coming on today. Mark Zosel writes in and says, #Bell Let's Talk Day. I'll get to that. That'll be a bonus point, okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm going to write that down. It's not in my Quick Six show topics, but I have to address it. So let's go, Jordan, please, with the Quick Six show topics. And this is what we're going to be covering today. Number one, Super Bowl 55. I think you initially, I think it was you, Monday or Tuesday, said this is the greatest matchup of all time. Was it you? I've heard it like earlier in the week.
Yeah, it wasn't me that said
Do you
greatest
think it
matchup.
is, though?
It's one of the greater storylines, I think, is wonderful. I said if Tom wins, this will be his greatest Super Bowl. I think this is one of his greatest achievements that he's ever had in the National Football League. That's kind of where I sit on it. I don't know if it's the greatest matchup. I'd have to think about it, but it's up there for sure.
I'm interrupting this with some of our viewer comments.
Yeah.
John Ohm he's up and he's at it in Winnipeg. John Ohm. He says, no, that's a good-looking hoodie. Rod, do you got Regina Pats too, bro? Moose looks like Miami Vice. Do I have a Regina Pats hoodie? John, if you didn't know it before, I'll say it. You never forget your first, right?
Never.
The Pats were the team I loved the first. They're the team that I love the most. They're the team that I will always love, the Regina Pats, the world's oldest junior hockey team. So do I have a Pats bunny hug? I got about 5, 6 jerseys, track suits, golf shirts. Yeah, this is the only piece of Blades memorabilia that I own, but I must say I quite like it. Darren Thompson in Winnipeg. Somewhere in Manitoba. He says, problem with Line A was his defensive game in the playoffs. Well, he's gone. Let's stop trampling on the man's grave. He's gone. It's over. Okay? And I'm getting sidetracked. I saw somewhere somebody say this is the greatest Super Bowl matchup of all time. And it depends on what your definition is. But I'll go along with this. It's the GOAT, Tom Brady, versus potentially the next GOAT, because they're saying Patrick Mahomes could be the greatest of all time. He could make you forget about everybody else, but he's got to win this one against the GOAT. That's a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, this is, you're taking out the king.
Yeah, that's the story.
Right? You're taking him out.
So to point 2, who is the greatest GOAT of all time? And I got to defer to TSN Sports Center or give them credit because it was their question this morning. It wasn't a trivia question or a poll, but it's going to be our poll. It is our poll. I'm calling it up right now to see what the results are. Who is the greatest GOAT of all time? Clark and I sat in the lobby here and kind of kicked some names around. This is who we settled on. Tom Brady, of course. Wayne Gretzky. Oh, the results are up already. Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, or other. He suggested Tiger Woods is the 4th, and I said, we got to leave it open for the 4th. So let's come up with the top 3.
Yeah.
And Wayne is leading on Twitter, and he's leading on Facebook, I see.
Oh, yeah. 52-1, right? I mean, he's got 2/3 of the vote for sure. That's pretty good. Pretty impressive.
Wayne, Sheldon Lasham in Calgary is writing in. He says, Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan. Well, it's just Michael Irvin. Irv was the guy that was talking about this. And he's like, basketball, you can kind of control a game by yourself. We've seen that. Hockey a little bit. But football is one where there's 22 guys on the field in the NFL, and everything's got to go right. There's a very good case to be made for Tom Brady with 6 championships. Wayne's only got 4. MJ's got 6. And I stumped Clark by asking him which Major League Baseball player has the record for the most World Series. I wouldn't have got it, but I'm not the baseball guy.
Yeah, me either.
Anybody? Anyone? I'll let that float for a while before I answer it. And by the way, I had to look it up. So anyways, to the replies, Joe Lazito on Long Island is saying, he wrote in and he says Don Cherry. Don Cherry is the GOAT, and I don't disagree. Todd Pickney says Michael Jordan. Don Landry, former voice of the Toronto Argonauts, checking in. He says Ali. That's why we had to lead the fourth open. Gordon Howe. Bob Friesen says Jack Nicklaus, somebody has written in. So there's some consternation. It's a great discussion.
Yeah.
To point 3, NHL.com coming out with their power rankings. Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, are now the number 1 team rated in the National Hockey League. You smiled when you love that.
I love it. I love it. And I like following that team.
So do I.
Yeah.
You love that they're number 1, or you love that I call them Canada's team?
A little bit of both. Little column A, little bit of column B. You know, and it only took, a period the other night for the WHL guys, right? McCrimmon, Viveros, Heward, for those guys. They were down, 3-1 early?
Oh, I thought.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, poor guys, right? They're never going to get another chance. But then they got it together.
And they have a chance tonight. They're coaching again. But I thought that old McCrimmon magic, of which I've been struck down by so many times, I thought it was going to come back and do on the Blues, and they didn't. The Blues won it in a shootout. Anyways, Vegas is number 1. Tampa Bay's number 2. Washington's number 3. Montreal's number 4. And the Dallas Stars are number 5. And I'm thinking some people are going to be saying, where's Toronto? Haven't you checked the standings? Were you thinking that?
No.
You don't even think they're in the top 5 NHL teams?
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, they haven't been all that convincing in their victories. So, no, I don't. But we don't know enough about Florida and Dallas and the undefeated teams either. But no, not yet. I would think probably top 10.
Well, this is what I don't like about NHL.com's power rankings. And I should have known, or I should have remembered. They only do the top 16 teams. How about doing 31? But they don't want to offend anybody. Mm-hmm. So we do it. Remember, we started this. This is point 4, the RP show, bottom 5. Dun, dun, dun. NHL.com has the top 5. This is the worst 5 in the National Hockey League because nobody else will tell you but us. Sorry to say, who do you think is the worst team in the NHL?
At the basement? I don't know. Tell me.
Well, in our ratings, and coincidentally, also the worst record in the NHL is the Ottawa Senators, who are who we thought they were. The second worst team is the New York Rangers. But I do think they'll bounce back. Let's remember, we're only in week 2 of the NHL regular season using football vernacular. Third worst team is the Carolina Hurricanes. Fourth worst team is the Detroit Red Wings. And the fifth worst team is the Arizona Coyotes. This is actually all based on the standings, but aren't all power rankings really?
They shouldn't be, right?
But they are.
But they are, especially early on, right? It's all about what have you done lately. And if they played tonight, this is how I look at the power rankings. If they played tonight, who has a better chance to win, right? So when a team starts slumping and playing bad, the record kind of goes out the window. And it can juggle, but they're pretty accurate right now.
Well, I'm going to have the bingo dabber going in overtime tonight into overdrive because there are 14 NHL games tonight. I'll be like that lady at the bingo hall. Bunk, 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 all over, right? Watching 14 games. Yeah. And we'll see if this shifts. But I think the RP show bottom 5 could really catch on, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody else is talking about it. It doesn't make me feel good that the Arizona Coyotes are in the bottom 5, but maybe they'll come out of it. Trent is watching in Norway where it is 5:11 p.m. Can you put that comment up, fellas? Norway calling. I see Wayne Gretzky is the greatest because he couldn't control everything around him and still did well. But if Brady wins the Super Bowl, he should get it. If you look at other sports like tennis, golf, and soccer, it becomes a major discussion. I need time to get some other names on this potential list. Stay well, everyone. And that's why we came up with it for the Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Who is the greatest GOAT? Who's the GOAT of all GOATs? Have you figured out yet who's got the most World Series as a player yet?
What era?
50s,
okay,
40s, 50s, 60s? No. Yogi Berra. Who is incidentally the most quotable not only baseball person, but maybe sports person ever. I still think about it all the time. Like when there's a really busy restaurant, there was one in Manhattan, and Yogi Berra said this, nobody goes there anymore. It's too busy. Think about that. That's funny.
I know. That is good.
Or it gets late early out here. Stuff like that. When they're on a road trip to LA, it gets late early out here. Funny stuff. Point 5 is split. Two things. Jim Rutherford steps down as the general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's really big news. And Darren Dreger comes on SportsCenter, our good friend Dregs, pride of Langenburg Sask, and didn't really have any insider info on why Rutherford stepped down, other than to say, I spoke to him earlier in the week and he seemed fine. This is completely out of the blue. The split point on this is John Chayka, suspended, the former Arizona Coyotes general manager, suspended by the NHL, by Gary Bettman, until January 1st of next year. So that's like a full year suspension for John Chayka. That's 2 GMs that are out of a job. And in the case of Rutherford, everybody wants to know. Don't you want to know?
Of course. Yes.
Do we have the right to know? Is it because he's a public person that his story should be out for everybody to see, or not? Seems like the NHL media is respecting his right to privacy.
Yeah, I like that for now. But they haven't given us enough info that we're satisfied, right? Personal reasons. So you immediately go to, I hope he's okay, right?
Yep.
And if he would have said it was health related, we'd have left him alone, right? We'd have been okay and respectful. But they said it's not health related. So then your mind goes to the tabloid magazines, and you go, ooh. Well,
I Googled Jim Rutherford Reddit.
And?
Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
They don't even know on Reddit.
So now that we know he's okay, it's not health related, now it's juicy. And now we got to know what it is.
Monty in Saskatoon writes in, please do tell. Well, we don't know what it is. And the question is, do we have a right to know? Just like Jonathan Taves. Nobody's really talking about that, but he's not with Chicago yet, right? Nobody's talking about it.
Right, but they said it was a health or a thing with his, personal mental
He
health.
said that. He didn't
so at least
feel right.
We're respecting it, and they did promise to update.
I got to speed it up here because our next guest is in the bunker. Don't want to keep him waiting. Point 6, it references or will touch on a question from one of our viewers, Sheldon in Calgary, regarding the Blue Jays. George Springer meets the media yesterday, and, man, it looked good. He looked good. Everybody was speaking, saying the right things. George Springer, the star center fielder that is now a Toronto Blue Jay, richest contract in team history, 6 years, $150 million. Forget about Springer's news conference because he's going to say all the right things and he's got even more rich. I saw Mark Shapiro last night, the president of the Blue Jays, on the COVID channel, CTV Newsnet. They took a break from COVID coverage to interview Mark Shapiro, the president of the Blue Jays. He was smiling the whole interview, which tells me he's pretty happy guy with the way things are going, and he got the #1 free agent on the market. They still haven't officially announced yet that they're going to play in Buffalo, by the way.
Right.
So it's exciting. 3 weeks before Major League Baseball training camps open. Sheldon in Calgary asked, is this the greatest lineup in baseball? And here's the thing. I was hoping Shapiro would say this, and he didn't. We haven't won a damn thing yet. So we're very excited about our lineup. Yeah, we're all in. We've pushed our chips into the middle of the table here, but we haven't won anything yet. But I get the sense from Shapiro that he's that kind of guy that probably is pretty proud of himself and feeling pretty cocky right now.
I would imagine. I would hope so. And clearly he's got the answers or the green light from upstairs to spend, right? Which hasn't always been the case in Toronto. They haven't always been able to spend, and max out contracts and whatnot. So he's got some freedom. He's spending, and you got to be pretty excited if you're a Jays fan.
Everybody's excited. And that's why I love sports people going on the news networks, because the newscaster was literally a fish out of water. She didn't even really know what to say. She was like, I'm a Jays fan, but I don't really know what's going on. So why don't you tell me how great you guys are? We're all excited. And maybe that's why Shapiro was smiling so much. He wasn't going to get grilled, by the normal sports media. So anyways, lots of comments coming in here. But to say best lineup in baseball, just prove it on the field, and we'll all be happy. Because right now, January doesn't mean much. Sorry to be Debbie Downer. And then on the Bell Let's Talk thing, here, my commentary on Cat Country 98. Do you know what it was about today on Cat Country 98 FM? Charleston Hughes. You wouldn't have seen it because it didn't get posted till 10 o'clock. And now I don't think he should have to take a pay cut because he's led the CFL in sacks the last 4 years. He should be held up as the CFL's Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt. But instead, he's being forced to take a massive pay cut. It might be up to 50%. That shouldn't have to happen. Do you know why I'm not talking about Bell Let's Talk? Because I talk about it every single day, 365 days. So I'm not one of, like, who else is raising money for mental health? Nobody. I applaud Bell. Bravo. It's not their fault that I think it's not just to be talked about one day, but in my life, I talk mental health every single day. And just so you know, we all have mental health. We all have it, just like we all have physical health. But you can look at somebody and go, oh, he's got poor physical health. Or look at, oh, she's got great physical health. But with mental health, you can't look at somebody and tell, right? So we all have mental health. The question is it good or is it poor? Recognize it and then make the steps to get better and get stronger. That's my take on Bell Let's Talk Day. Thank you, Bell, for bringing awareness to the movement. But don't get fooled to think that we can talk about it one day a year and any difference is going to be made. Because you got to work on it every single day. Just relate it to your physical health. You're going to work out one day a year. How do you think that's going to work out?
Yeah. You hope it leads to the change. And the change is consistency. Day in, day out.
Day in, day out. That's my take on Bell Let's Talk. Talking hockey when we come back. Hang on. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. You're home for the NFL. You're watching on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed. IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody, on this Thursday. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues. Thanks for joining us for coffee today. Caliber Coffee here in the bunker. I mentioned we're going to talk hockey now. But we'll continue. We will continue all of our viewer comments and stuff. For instance, Dylan Uremko in Saskatoon's watching. He says, "Hey, Rod, are you coming out to Saskatoon International Raceway again this summer?" You bet. That was not a one-time thing. I was in Estevan at the dirt track. I was at the drag track in Saskatoon, our own track out here, the Motor Speedway. I am all in on racing forever. I love it. But as I said, hockey's the thing. And Jason Tatarnic is the head coach and general manager of the Estevan Bruins. He joins us here in the bunker. Jason, pleased to finally actually meet you face-to-face.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Rod. It's great to see you in person, too. And
hell of a year.
It's been interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it has. So, folks, here's the thing. We're not just going to talk about the Estevan Bruins and the SJHL. This gentleman right here is from Niagara Falls, Ontario. He's coached all across the country. And I said he's going to speak for junior coaches across the country. Hope you don't mind.
Sure, sure.
He's coached in the Maritime Junior League, the BCJ, now the SJ. Played at Notre Dame. You told me that, right? You played at Notre Dame. Yeah. Brock University, Amsterdam Tigers, the Hull Thunder, Fayetteville Force, the Macon Whoopee. Remember that team? They don't call it that anymore, do they?
No, I don't think so.
But I remember the team and coached the Woodstock Slammers of the Maritime Junior League and then the Chilliwack Chiefs and now into Estevan. So see what I'm saying? This guy can talk about all of it. But let's, and you brought gifts, by the way. I got to thank you for this, by the way. I'm always a fan of, where should I put it, do you think, Jason?
You can put it wherever you want.
Look at this gorgeous thing, folks. Estevan Bruins jersey. Bryce Platt, who's a personal fan. I'm a fan favorite of his. So thank you, Jason, for that. We will find a nice home for it here. So here we go. How's life as a junior coach 10 months into a pandemic?
It's a little difficult. It's challenging times. It's, it's nothing we've seen before as coaches and hockey organizations. So it's tough because you're dealing with trying to get the season going. You're dealing with the mental and the physical well-being of your players and just a lot of organizing, and plus waiting for answers. That's probably the biggest thing. Like just you're not in the know entirely. So that's what makes it difficult when you don't have the answers to give to your players.
Well, let's back up and go through this somewhat chronologically. Let's pick it up, let's say in August, where you think you're going to have a season or you finally get green-lighted. Well, you knew you were going to have a training camp, so you did, right? And then you ended up playing for a week or two. What were the protocols and mountains you had to move to play, given this climate?
Yeah, the first thing we had to do, Bill Child did a great job of creating some protocol guidelines. And so we had to create, I believe it was like a 40, 50-page document of all our protocols, what we would do with our players, how we're going to handle the buildings, travel, etc. It was pretty in depth and in detail. So that was the first hoop, getting those into government and getting those approved.
Did you have to do that, or did the board help you?
Yeah, it was a group effort. Danny Ewan did an excellent job on it. He took the lead. So it was quite in depth, and we finally got those in and waiting for approval. And we had to be approved individually by the government, each team. So it wasn't like SJHL here, the entire league's approved. It was individually, and we got that done. And then, we were able to get our season started. And, I think things went really well for us in terms of how we handled it and how we followed our protocols. And, we did have the one case during the season, but, Melfort did a great job. They contained it. It didn't spread throughout the team. And shortly after, we were shut down by the government.
What'd you get? How many games did you get in?
I believe we got 6 in total.
Okay, so over a period of 2 weeks, basically. So am I right in saying there were only 2 positive COVID cases in the entire SJHL in the fall?
Yeah, and actually one was before the season even started. It was even before training camp, just the prior. And so it didn't happen when we were actually in full operation or actually even started our training camps. So really we had the 1 case.
And did you not say that came from school? Not hockey?
It wasn't from the hockey rink. It wasn't from playing. It wasn't from his teammates. That's all I know about it. I guess there is some private policies in there, but from my knowledge, it didn't come from anything to do with the game.
So here come the questions from the viewers, and they're not, I don't think, that hard, Jason, but Kyle Outridge is in Cambridge, Ontario. That's why I said he brings a national view, okay? He says, do you think the overage limit should be raised by 1 year? It's obviously coming up a lot. So 21-year-olds will be allowed to play, or should. Where are you on that?
Yeah, there's an argument for sure that to have that happen. And, when you think about these players had their season shut down last year in March. Now they've only had 6 games. And these players are looking for opportunities to play, NCAA hockey, CIS, maybe even professional. So, have that taken away from you is a difficult thing. Could you do it? Yeah, you could do it. Will there be some logistics and that you have to, go through in terms of how do you phase that out and how many, etc. It's not an easy thing to do. But it can be done. It's just if you are willing to do it and if you think that's important for the 20-year-olds to have that opportunity, because we all know that schools have granted their seniors an extra year. So the opportunities for these players next year are going to be limited. So, it's going to be a tough road for them if they have to do that.
The gentleman, Dylan from Saskatoon, says, thanks, Rod. He's 100% hockey in his heart regarding the racing. Tony Cernick writes in, morning, coach, from the Energy City. That, by the way, is Estevan. So where are we now on a return to play? Do you know anything?
Well, the league developed a task force to come up with some proposals, some ideas, and we were able to talk to 2 gentlemen from government. I know it was a really good conversation. It was good to kind of get their mindset on things, and we had good discussions. And I think it was good for them because they kind of got a sense of what our environment is, how protected it is, and what our players are striving for. I think they were quite surprised how important this time of year for these players are. And we talked about the 20-year-olds. I explained to them how important this development year is for them. Myself as a player, that was probably the most important year for me. If I didn't have that year, I probably would never went on to play university hockey, etc. So I understand the importance of that year. So, I think we got that message across to them. And I think we got the message across to both how strict our protocols are and how limited we are with contact within our community and outside our community. So hopefully they're going to bring that back to, the people that need to hear it. And we'll go from there.
Connor Anderson watching in Yorkton, he says, I miss the SJHL games. Well, Connor, we all do. And I got to ask you this, Jason Tatarnic with us, head coach and GM of the Estevan Bruins. When you met with government, did you get a sense of, well, at least you didn't die? Or were they were sympathetic to your concerns?
Yeah, they were appreciative of the information we provided to them. And they said it's good information to have to bring back to the table for their group. And They understand how important hockey is to our communities, to the province, and they want to work with us to try and get this going. Obviously, they have some things that they have to watch for in terms of taking care of the public and the province, taking care of the people. So we understand that. So we just want to work with them to come up with a solution, with a scenario where we can get back playing.
As I mentioned, we've got some new viewers that have logged in, and Jason coached in Chilliwack, Woodstock of the Maritimes, and now Estevan. That is literally from coast to coast. And I've heard different things. Is the Maritime League playing?
They are. They're a little bit different. There's 3 provinces that play in that league, so each province has their own protocols for the COVIDs and when they shut down. But what's beneficial for them is they know if the case count goes over this number, they're not playing. So they can monitor it and they can watch. So they'll play, and if the case count is below, they'll continue to play. If it goes up, then the games are canceled that week. So they have a situation where they can monitor it and see, and they're getting games in, and then they'll have to take a break. So it's great for them. And as a former coach, I'm really happy for the coaches and the players out there that they can play.
How has your stress level been this year? I mean, I've been around coaches my whole life. You're responsible for 20 young men. That brings its own source of stress. This goes to another level, right? And trying to play, like, how have you been? Yeah,
the stress level is more about your players. I'll be able to take care of myself, and I'll go on living. But you're worried about those players that are missing opportunities. You're worried about players that need this sport. If you talk to sports psychologists, like, they really identify themselves as a hockey player. So when that's taken away from them, it's part of their life that's been taken away. So it's a tough adjustment for them. So that's the part I worry about. And there's some nights that you think about it quite a bit, and not much sleep is happening. But someone you gotta find some answers for these players. And I'm a person. I'm not going to give up. Maybe it's the Notre Dame hound in me, but I'll kick and scratch and keep going to try and get the season to go.
Lukter et emergo.
Yeah.
Struggle and emerge.
Yep.
The Estevan Bruins are watching, and they say, Coach, they're waving, hey, Coach, rep that Platt jersey with pride, Roddy, # Regina Kit. I'll show it again. This Bryce Platt jersey that was brought in by Coach Tatarnic. Trust me, I told him we'll find a very nice place for it here in the bunker. Thomas Abbott writes in, Tank. He says, hockey is needed in all the towns affected. Time to get back at it. Wake up, Sask government. Great show today, Roddy. Thank you. I'm just trying to show the team's side of what's going on right now. And one of our viewers wanted to know what the government deemed, this province's government deemed dangerous about hockey. And I read the protocols. It was that you would be yelling as a coach, and that would put more droplets in the air, or their battle drills would be a problem. I'm not going to ask you to talk about this unless you want to, but just how dangerous hockey is in this COVID environment. And quite frankly, I don't go along with that, but I don't know where you are on that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest concerns for them was travel. Traveling into
city to city.
Yeah, traveling to different communities, and I understand that. And but I think the big thing is for them was to understand what our travel looked like, and I explained it to them that I used the Melville trip, for example. Our players, went on the bus. They had their masks on. We came in contact with a bus driver, and the bus driver usually waited outside away from the players when they walked in. And then we arrived at the rink in Melville. And, we didn't come in contact with any of the staff, etc. When we arrived, we went and played our game, came in contact with 20 other players, officials, left, came in contact with the person that delivered the food, and went back to Estevan. So, just demonstrating, we're not really coming in contact with that many people. And I haven't seen a case or proven that it's been transmitted by competition. So, we had those many games with no cases being transmitted during the games. So I think that's a safe area as well, because there's no data to prove that it's not for us. So that was our biggest concern. I think we just had to tell them, like, this is what our travel looks like, and this is how many people we come into contact with.
Jason, do you have a few extra minutes?
Sure.
Clark's telling me that we have our next guest, Ryan Leslie, logged in, and he was scheduled for 10:35, and it is 10:35. His time, 9:35, Mountain, where he is, and it is game day. So, Jason, if I can interrupt you for a sec, you can put on those headphones if you want to listen to this. Let's bring in Ryan Leslie. Oh, he went away. So... okay, he's good now. So Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames joins us. And Ryan, I appreciate the time on a game day. Flames and Habs tonight, my man. You are looking fantastic. Are you down some weight here in the pandemic? Well, the baby fat's gone. What's up?
Wow, Roddy.
You're welcome.
Sit-ups are free, and I mixed in a little water. That's all.
Good for you. Well, this is the Ryan Leslie you don't normally see when you're watching the Flames on Sportsnet. Hey, Ryan, I appreciate this one. And the time. Flames Habs tonight. I know you never get tired of talking about these matchups, man. What's got you the most excited about this clash tonight in Montreal?
Well, anytime those two teams get together, it's a blast. I mean, they've got such a great history whenever things have met. There's been the Stanley Cups. There's been some New Year's Eves. There's been some great games in between. So we're going to do this game from a standpoint of, if you can imagine, they're doing it technically from Toronto. The game's in Montreal, and we're going to kind of do it from Calgary. So there's a lot of logistical challenges. But as far as the matchup itself goes, I just want to see, Calgary's dropped 2 in a row. Montreal has been lights out to start the season. This is their home opener. So they've done all this success on the road. And what's fascinating to me, anyhow, Rod, is the fact that anybody who's played this game, and you've got a coach sitting right there and a former player right beside you who could tell this better than anybody, road trips are what help galvanize a team. And when you've got new faces, sometimes the road trip is exactly what you need. However, in this day and age, it's not the same. It's harder to bond and come together. You're not going to meals together. You're not going anywhere for strolls around the city you're visiting. So somehow these Canadians have come together with a lot of new faces and made it work. And now finally they get their home opener. And it's Montreal. You expect all of this pageantry. Well, tonight you're not going to have the fans. And so that's going to feel very different. So there's the game stories, there's the feel-good stories, there's the bizarre stories, there's the work story, but all of it comes together, and I think a really interesting matchup. And, of course, what we saw, the Tkachuk situation at the end against the Leafs, he has been playing a real solid, greasy game, and Johnny Gaudreau's off to a great start. So from a Calgary perspective, Markstrom's been good. I think the Flames are right now speaking. They have their availability, so I don't know what's being said, but yeah, there's lots to dig into tonight.
Well, I won't keep you too long, but they're facing a team that, if you go by the NHL.com's power rankings, Montreal has slipped into 4th overall in the National Hockey League, according to NHL.com. That would make them the best team in Canada. For now, this week, do you go along with that?
Well, from what I've seen, they look pretty darn good. And in conversations I've had with a number of players, including former Leaf and Flame Matt Stajan, who echoed the same. When you watch, you look with your own eyes, but when you talk to players, you look at, you ask them about, is it legit? And, we're going to have Corey Sarich on tonight. We talked to Stajan. We had Troy Brouwer and Brendan Morrison on the broadcast and talking about what the Canadians are doing. They look for real. It's early. Everybody gets that. But for where we are right now, this looks like a deep team. When you look at the pieces that they have, Roddy, they've got a pretty solid blue line. They've got good goaltending, and they've got those new faces. Josh Anderson looks like he's fitting in nicely. So this looks like a pretty good team. Again, early, but how important are the starts in this new day and age, when it sounds cliche to talk about the importance of a start, but there's not a lot of wiggle room. If you can get off the hop right away the way you want, that's going to make a huge difference down the road.
Well, in Ottawa's last place overall in the National Hockey League, Edmonton's got their struggles. Calgary's a few games behind because they haven't played enough, but those losses, I'm intrigued by the alarm bells going off at the losses to the Leafs last week. Not to mention the way that it all went down. Like the Scotia North Division, man, it's the rivalries. Do you think the NHL really wanted that? Like the Muzzin-Tkachuk situation? Do they want this? I mean, we love it. Battle of Alberta, we love, but does the NHL want that kind of thing to happen at the end of a set between 2-3 games against each other?
I don't know if the NHL wants it. I don't know if it's a big deal, really, in the big scheme of things. We're blowing it up because it's fun to talk about. We're always looking for something, and it's great. But there's no dirtiness to it. It's still the NHL, Rod. Like, it's still, things are going to happen. We got to maybe not shoot ourselves in the foot here with overanalyzing something that really doesn't worry about it. I don't want to water this thing down or make it seem like this is so egregious. This is wonderful, and I don't think there's a lot of negativity to it. We may, in various fan bases around the league may say, oh, this guy's bad or this guy's wrong, but what we're seeing is no big deal. I really don't think it's a big deal, and I don't think the NHL thinks it's one.
Okay, good. But I also know they've instructed the networks, of which you work at one, not to show fights in your promo packages and commercials and stuff. They don't like to glorify rough stuff. You have to agree.
I don't think we saw rough stuff. I don't think this. I don't think that was that big of a deal. A flipping of the puck, I don't think that was a big deal. And we're going to talk about it tonight.
Cheekiness. It was cheeky. Okay, yeah. It wasn't an outright brawl.
We can still be cheeky, can't we?
I'll tell you what.
He's trying to take that away from us, Pedersen, too?
What would Lou say about that? What would Lou say about that?
Yeah, let's get back to the way it was. Yeah, just fine. I missed the game the way it was.
All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hoodie you got, too.
Thank you. In
Saskatoon.
Great people. All right. Listen, go get on that Zoom call. Les, we'll be watching tonight, buddy. Love you. Appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks for having me.
That was good. That was a good time, not a long time, with Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. More with Jason Tatarnic. This guy coached John Chayka in junior, the former GM of the Arizona Coyotes. We're going to talk about and some hockey stories when we come back. It's the RP Show. You're watching on Game Plus TV, Facebook Live daily on YouTube, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Just checking the poll results so far. It's a 24-hour poll for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. Who's the GOAT of all GOATs? Greatest of all time? Our options are Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, or other. And we're asking you to write in who might that be. I'm reminded that we're in Canada here. Wayne Gretzky is leading on Twitter with 53% of the vote, and on Facebook, 52% with Wayne. And I'm not going to argue with that, but people are writing in Muhammad Ali. People are writing in Don Cherry, Jack Nicklaus. So it's a fantastic debate. A sports update. The Vancouver Canucks down the Senators 5-1 at home to extend Ottawa's losing skid to 6 games. JT Miller had 2 goals and an assist for the Canucks, while Thatcher Demko made 42 saves to give Vancouver its 2nd win in a row over Ottawa. Nashville beat Chicago 2-1 in a shootout in the only other game. There are 14 games tonight, including Leafs at Oilers, Sens at Canucks, Flames at Habs, and Blues at Golden Knights. Jets are off. But next hour, we're going to Winnipeg. The sports doctor from the Winnipeg will join us, Dave Patrician. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists, and the Milwaukee Bucks pulled away for a 115-108 win over the Toronto Raptors in Tampa, Florida last night. Norman Powell led the Raps with 26 points. Blue Jays have acquired left-handed pitcher Steve Matz in a trade with the New York Mets. The Blue Jays are sending right-handed prospect pitchers Yenzi Diaz, Sean Reed-Foley, and Josh Winkowski to New York. The 29-year-old Matz has spent his entire career with the Mets. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room. They can handle all your food and fun needs. Visit them in the heart of the Dewdney Strip and check out their website, ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We'll have to give Jason Tatarnic a Red Bull on his way out of here. The head coach and GM of the Esteban Bruins. Have you ever had one?
You know what? When I was playing in Europe, that's when it first came out. So there was quite a bit of
everybody liked it. Yes, we got a fridge full if you're feeling a little down at all, energy-wise. Jason, you really piqued my interest when you said you coached John Chayka in Woodstock of the Maritime Junior League. I met him in Arizona when I was down there hanging around the Coyotes, doing some promotions with the Coyotes. I was reading up on him today, named the youngest GM in NHL history at 26. And it looked like it was going okay. And now he's suspended until next year. What can you tell us about John Chayka as a player?
You know, he was a pretty skilled player and a very intelligent hockey player. And, you know, obviously you saw what he went on to accomplish. He was talking about the company when he was playing junior hockey, that he had that in his mind.
Which is an analytics company, correct?
Yeah. So, you know, to be thinking about that at that age is, you know, it's remarkable. You know, you don't, most junior hockey players aren't thinking about what type of business I can build at that age. So, no. You know, give him credit, and he did a great job with that. So, you know, was I surprised to see him become a GM at that level after seeing, you know, the success of his company? No. You know, it's a tough gig, though. It's a tough job. It's not easy to be an NHL GM, and not different than being a coach. Coaches and GMs go, so that's the way that business works. So it's a tough life.
Yeah, well, you know yourself, what you see is very rarely what you get. But we had Paul Bissonnette on here a couple of weeks ago, who was the Coyotes analyst and one half of Spit and Chicklets, and I said, at the very least, that ownership group of Drummond and LeBlanc left the team better off than when they found it, and that included John Chayka. I just look at it as he got him into the playoffs. They hadn't been in the playoffs since 2012. That's not the only measure, but overall, I think he did a good job from what I see.
Yeah, when you say measurement in the NHL right now, you look at how many teams there are. It's tough to get in the playoffs now. Yeah. You know, it's 50-50, and so to get in the playoffs, that's an achievement for him and that team, and so. Yeah, you know, you can have your view on him as a GM, being that young, etc. You hear it all over the place, but like you said, he got them in the playoffs.
We've got Neil Shuchuk watching, an SJHL Hall of Famer. Shuey watching from Whitecourt, Alberta. He's a longtime radio man of CJVR Melfort, voice of the Mustangs, Humboldt Broncos, and Nipawin Hawks. He says, great to see SJHL on the show. For sure it is, Shuey. And as I said with Jason, he brings a national view as a guy that's coached in 3 junior A leagues across this country. And did you end up playing junior A, or did you go straight to university out of Notre Dame?
Yeah, I went straight to university out of Notre Dame. I did the pro thing first, and then I got sent down to the minors and decided that I go to school. And so I went to school and started school in January, and then went and played pro after school again. So
Well, and for all the new viewers, see, there's a lot of new people chiming in here, and also people voting on our poll. Bobby Orr, get a vote from Paula for Bobby Orr for the greatest GOAT of all time. Well, maybe I should ask your vote. Who is the greatest of all time, of all the greatest of all times? Our options are Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, or other. Who are you voting for on that?
It's a tough one. Like, I'm a Pats fan, so I understand what Brady's done, and obviously being a hockey player, you see what Wayne Gretzky's done.
It's a tough call, isn't it?
And then you watch that documentary on the Bulls and Michael
Last
Jordan.
Dance, yeah.
Like, it's hard to pick one out of the three, to be honest, with the respective sports. But I guess being Canadian, I'd have to go with Wayne Gretzky.
I was just going to say, of hockey, would you agree that he's number one, even?
Yeah, you look what he did, how he changed the game, and you can have the same argument for Bobby Orr as a defenseman, but I'd put those two in the same category in terms of changing the game, but you can't ignore what Gretzky accomplished overall.
Exactly. Well, Janelle from Saskatoon writes in, she says, Tiger Woods. For sure. Let's not get testy here. There's room for everybody, but it's a fun debate. Let's not also forget international competition. That's the one thing, Jason, you and I are around the same age. Let's just talk about 80s, Canada Cups, Super Series, whatever you want to call them. That was a whole other side story of their career that these other guys don't have. Well, no, Michael Jordan, yeah, he played in the Olympics. Tom, there is no international football for him to play. What Gretzky did on the international stages would qualify him for GOAT, I would think.
Yeah, you look at the countries that play the game of hockey and how it's evolved. It's a pretty stiff competition. And I remember those the Canada Cups. I was in Hamilton. I watched those live, and it was just unbelievable. It's probably some of the best hockey I've seen overall. It was just fantastic hockey, right from goaltending, Grant Fuhr, just the amount of talent that was on both teams from the Russians and Team Canada. Like, it was unbelievable.
It was a great way to kick off hockey season, too, by the way, and end the summer, if you recall. Right, we were back in school, and those Canada Cups were being played, and we were all around the TV. By the way, Peanut Butter Pete Saragella's watching, and he says, Tom Brady is more than a Patriot. He's proving that now. Thanks for the greased wheels there, Pete, by the way. My favorite. I hope those are Tower Specials. Do you know what kind those are?
I didn't look at
them. They're all good.
I didn't look at them because I probably would have ate it. So I just
he knows what my favorites are. He knows what my favorites are. Hey, before I let you go, boy, we sure got people going on with all our topics here. But can I just ask you this? Who is your NHL team?
Detroit Red Wings.
Wings? Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Ups and downs. But with the Oilers, I don't know if you probably saw they blew one in the third in Winnipeg the other night, and the analysts are saying that there was fatigue and their schedule caught up with them. And Oilers are my second favorite team. Vegas is number one. How can you, in today's day and age, say fatigue a week into the regular season can cost you a third period? With all due respect to Noodles, are you buying that fatigue in this day and age?
It's, game shape's different than just being in shape. And also the mental part plays into it as well. So, it could be a combination of both, but at the end of the day, to win hockey games, that third period just becomes a mental battle. Just doing the little things, and you were talking about Montreal. If you watch them, they've won so many games on the road. They're just doing little things right, and that adds up, and that builds confidence, and it helps wins hockey games. And you kind of pay attention to more on the road. And so I think you could say physical side's can be a problem, but it's a combination, and it's just. Do you want to win? How bad do you want to win?
Yes. Well, and that's what's scary for the Oilers because we're starting to wonder. Jason, we're completely out of time, but thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the visit. Stay healthy, and hope to see you on the ice soon.
Thanks, and I'm hoping we are.
Dave Patrician, the sports doctor, coming up next hour as we go live to Game Plus Television and a whole lot more. Stick with us through the break, everybody, or keep watching us here on your favorite digital platform. Now I'm the whore and the pimp. That's where the money is.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. we are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com. IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Now, here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Pedersen Show, and I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and it's, That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think, I want to make you feel something, and it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is, and good day, Canada. Welcome to the RP Show. Canada's daytime sports talk show is taking flight out of the bunker here in Western Canada. Duke's joining us on the program. Your phone's humming, man. Busy day.
It's melting today.
You doing business?
Oh, yeah.
Is it all good?
It's always all good.
Okay, good.
Even when you think it's bad, it's still good.
Well, we are in hour 2 of the program. Hour 1 for y'all watching on Game Plus TV. And we're in a very good mood today. We've got a lot of things to cover. We've got some sizzling topics. I'll remind you that beginning February 1st, what day is that?
Monday.
Beginning Monday.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 hours of the RP Show on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces and 31 states. 2 hours beginning at noon Eastern. So you won't have missed any of the show beginning Monday. But we got some delicious conversations going on. And let's just jump into the quick 6 show topics, please, Jordan. Let's do that. Because they come up in that, and I might remind you, too, we had two big-time guests in hour one. Jason Tatarnic, the head coach and general manager of the Estevan Bruins, who also coached Woodstock in the Maritime Junior Hockey League and Chilliwack in the BC Junior Hockey League. He spoke on behalf of all junior coaches across the continent. I would be correct in saying that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he had some very interesting things to say. We'll reflect on those. He brought 3 Tower pizzas from the Tower Tap House in Estevan. So
that's really messing with the diet.
Lunch is handled. And we had Ryan Leslie with us from Sportsnet Flames as it's game day for the Habs and the Flames tonight. And this is ringing in my head. We were talking about the little dust-up at the end of the game the other night between the Flames and the Leafs. And I said, oh, the NHL wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that. I don't think they do like any physical, right?
Yeah.
And Ryan Leslie was saying to me, Rod, it's still the NHL. Like, did you see that clip?
Yeah.
He's like, you're not trying to take this from us, are you? You can't fight anymore. You can't have brawls. I'm like, it's not me. It's the muckety mucks, the suits. They don't want any ill will and the cancel culture. We can't, you can't show any aggression. You can't be a man. And I'm talking about in the realm of a sports arena. Oh my God, kids are watching. You can't shoot a puck at somebody. It shows poor sportsmanship. And he's saying it's still the NHL. And I'm thinking, well, you're not I'm not the one you got to convince.
It's when they send the disciplinarian to sit up in the tower and watch when the Flames are playing the Oilers.
Like the principal
rematch.
on the school ground.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where we're at these days. Yeah, and he made me feel like what should I say? Like the cancel culture crowd. I'm not part of it.
I know. So he was okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact the networks have been instructed not to put fights in their highlight films and their commercials, right? You can't show fights. So that's all that I'm saying. Anyways, to our topics, other than to say the sports doctor, Dave Patrician, will be joining us from Winnipeg to talk Jets and Bombers. We're loving Winnipeg, and it's mutual. I'm going on CJOB Radio 68 in an hour's time to talk about the Winnipeg Jets with Cam on the noon news program there. So I'm loving what's happening with Winnipeg, by the way. And the people over there said, hey, Rod, you're our guy. You just gotta not be the rider guy anymore. And I'm like, it's fine. That's fine by me. What did we say last week? To get something in life, you have to give something up. Right?
That's right.
And that's kind of where we're at. So, hey, Winnipeg, we're with you. Point 1, Super Bowl 55. We're 10 days out or ish from the NFL championship game. It's starting to be called the greatest matchup of all time. And I thought Darren said it earlier in the week, but you're saying it wasn't you. But now the pundits are saying it's the greatest matchup of all time, of all Super Bowls, the 54 prior. This is the best one. And there's an argument to be made for that because you've got Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. For the people that don't understand, GOAT, G-O-A-T, greatest of all time, Tom Brady, going after his 7th Super Bowl championship against Patrick Mahomes, who's already got one, and they're saying he's the next Brady. Well, he can't be the next Brady until he beats Brady.
That's step
it's
one.
Like Mr. Miyagi and Ralph Macchio, right?
Yes.
Master pupil thing here. So it is a fantastic matchup, and maybe it is the greatest of all time. But it takes us into point 2. Who is the greatest GOAT of all time? Forget about sport by sport by sport. Who is the number 1 sports athlete of all time? It's our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall and Universal Collision Center. And there's your options. You can see. I know the listeners can't, but Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, or other. Wayne Gretzky is running away with it on Facebook and Twitter, and that's cool because he's got my vote. I love Wayne. I've extolled my love, admitted my love for Wayne Gretzky many times on this program. He's my favorite all-time hockey player, and I was a goalie. Dupes, did we get the right 3? Because you weren't part of the discussion when we put it up.
I think so. I thought you'd get a lot more back and forth on the LeBron, Michael Jordan thing. But,
yeah.
You know, when it comes to Wayne, I think you look at, he's undisputed, right? I don't think there's anybody. I mean,
your mom said Bobby Orr. Your mom wrote it.
She loves Bobby Orr, okay? And there's.
She probably thinks he's hot.
People love, Gordie Howe as well, and there's Mario Lemieux, but nobody can dispute that Wayne's the greatest of all time, and the records are so untouchable. You know, they said Connor McDavid, he's got like almost 500 points. by the time he's 24 years old, 458 points or something like that. Gretzky had 1,000 by the time he was 24. Okay?
I know.
Like, it's so undisputed. That's why I think Wayne's the greatest.
Love it. So you got 22 hours-ish to vote on our poll. Who's the greatest GOAT of all time? Welcoming in our viewers' comments, Claire Wells says, love the bunny hug, Rod. I wish we had the WHL back. Go Blades. Well, as we said to the CFL fans in the summertime, wishing doesn't make it so. I wish so as well, but we have to concentrate on what is rather than what isn't. I'm honoring our teams by wearing their gear, but we're moving on. For instance, point 3, NHL.com came out with their weekly power rankings, and as much as I don't like that they stop at 16, they go 1 through 16. I really think they should go 1 to 31. But again, it's the cancel culture crowd. We can't offend anybody by saying they're the worst team in the NHL. My God, somebody might actually look at the standings, right? But here's the top 5 from NHL.com, current teams in the NHL this week. Number 1, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 3, the Washington Capitals have weaseled their way in there. Point 4, the Bleu Blanc Rouge, Montreal Canadiens. And number 5, the Dallas Stars. The resident Leaf fans here aren't even complaining about this, and frankly, that shocks me. But are you saying it's too early and you got too much to prove?
Yeah,
as a team?
Yeah, far too much to prove. And there's a difference between, for me, being one of the top 5 teams in the power rankings and being one of the top teams in the standings, because the Leafs haven't proven that they're a powerhouse yet, even though they're getting the wins. They're not dominating anybody yet, and you hope they can get there. But the teams that are in the top 5 deserve to be there.
John Schmeiser in Kansas City, with all this focus on Brady, it takes the pressure off Mahomes. Go Chiefs. Well, yeah, you're in Kansas City. There's no pressure on Tom Brady here at all. He's proven. Mahomes isn't.
I actually look at this game when you say greatest matchup.
Yeah.
Brady's the underdog, right? He's got all the odds stacked against him and something to prove here. Mahomes and the Chiefs, I mean, what is he, 24, 25, and 1 in his last, 26 or 25 games? Unbelievable.
Hey, John in Kansas City, we love you. But to use a Western term, Tom Brady's hay's in the barn. He's done the work. There's no pressure on Tom Brady here as far as I'm concerned. All the pressure's on Patrick Mahomes. Wayne in Victoria, BC is watching. He says, if Bobby Orr had played a full career with his knee injury, he would be my GOAT of all time. Well, if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle, Wayne. Doesn't work that way. There's a lot of what ifs.
Tons.
There's tons of what ifs. Moving on. I'm not going to get in trouble for that, am I?
No, that's just like the guy, Austin Matthews in his first career game scored 4 goals. He's on pace for 1,700, 1,000 goals.
Right.
I'm
asking, am I going to get in trouble for the aunt-uncle reference?
Of course not.
Point 4.
Not from me.
The NHL.com had their top 5, but they don't do the bottom 15. So we've got a thing here on the RP show. It's the bottom 5. Can we get a graphic for that?
We need a graphic for that.
Sponsored by Willie's Tap House.
Hey.
The bottom 5 in the National Hockey League. I'm going to do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The 5th worst team in the National Hockey League is the Arizona Coyotes, which they're my 3rd favorite team, so it pains me to say that, but you can see they're a team in turmoil. We've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah.
You don't see it when you watch the games, but it's very clear they're a team in turmoil, and that's unfortunate because there's a lot of great people in that organization. The 4th worst team in the National Hockey League is the Detroit Red Wings. They get a long ways up to go from the bottom, and that's unfortunate. The 3rd worst team is the Carolina Hurricanes, and let's remind everybody this is very early. This is a team that looked very good in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. The 2nd worst team is the New York Rangers. They're calling Alexei Lafreniere a bust. I'm sorry, listen, he hasn't broken out like Tim Stützle. He's not on the highlights every night. But we're not watching him every night either like we are Stützle.
That's right.
We got the Senators on TV every night in this country. So hang on. This will change. And then the worst team in the NHL is the Ottawa Senators. Don't blame me. This is the standings. They have 3 points. The Ottawa Senators are who we thought they were. Shall we move on?
Let's do it.
Point 5, Jim Rutherford resigning as the general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and John Chayka suspended by the NHL. By Commissioner Gary Bettman. He's the GM of the Coyotes, or was, parted ways with the team just before the playoffs last year. Doesn't that seem odd? Does that not reek of a team in turmoil? Are we owed? Do we have the right as fans and media to know why Jim Rutherford stepped down, citing personal reasons? Because he's a public person or not? Personally, I'd like it to stay private, but when you become a public person, and you don't even necessarily sign up for public life, it's kind of assigned on you, really. Your stuff's going to get out there. That's just the way that it is. John Chayka, he was suspended for purely professional reasons, right? Breaking the code of conduct in terms of working out prospects, right? And a variety of things. But are we owed the right to know? I don't think that you are. But when you're a public person, you better be prepared for your stuff to get out there.
Yeah.
Fair?
Absolutely. And I think, we will find out why he's not with the organization anymore. Our curiosity is not going away. I mean, I remain intensely curious to know why he's not there. But at the same time, if they can come up with a reason that satisfies us enough without actually letting us know the sensitive nature of it, I'm okay with that.
From our viewers, couple things. Joe Lazito, watching from Long Island, where the RP show is available on Game Plus TV on Altus Cable. He says, those saying this Super Bowl is the best matchup may not be old enough to remember Pittsburgh versus Dallas from the 1970s. Which is fine, because that was a long time ago. Taylor Soley says, Rod, it comes with the job. Public life. I know! I'm the one saying it. I'm just bringing up the question, which I'll get to in a minute. But point 6, George Springer meets the media. And I get that the Blue Jays fans, of which I'm one, they tweeted at me a couple weeks ago, remember?
Yep.
I'm just not super Blue Jays. Like I don't wear Blue Jays jammies like producer Clark and his buddy Max Ritz, but I'm still in on the Blue Jays. So George Springer, the star outfielder, the richest contract in Blue Jays history, 6 years, $150 million, meets with the media yesterday. I was less interested in what George Springer had to say because he signed with the Blue Jays, I think, because it's the richest contract in Blue Jays history. He's signing for the money. He's saying all the right things, and I think George Springer's great. I want to hear what everybody else is saying, i.e. the pundits. And I saw Scott Mitchell on TSN, who's a good friend of mine, saying they signed him not for the bat, not for the outfielding ability, for his leadership. Look what he's done in Houston. 3-time All-Star. They need a leader and an older, mature guy in the locker room with all these young kids running around because Vladdy didn't even show up in the playoffs. The Blue Jays highlight reel, the book on the Blue Jays playoff run last year is a pamphlet. They could have used George Springer last year. Now they got him. And then Mark Shapiro, the president, was on CTV Newsnet last night, which I've affectionately nicknamed the COVID channel. They took a break from COVID coverage to interview Mark Shapiro, the president of the Blue Jays, and he smiled the whole interview. He is quite proud of himself for the signings that he made. I was hoping that he would say, we haven't won anything yet. We've had some great signings. We've been very fortunate, but we haven't won anything yet. Nope, didn't say that. Just basically smiled and said how great we are, which is also fine, but I'm waiting for you to go out and prove it. Off-season signings is one thing. Playing in October is another. And raising banners, by the way, which last time I checked, Shapiro and Atkins haven't done. Alex Anthopoulos and John Gimmons did. I'm on board with these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're past a great start. You've proven it. You made the playoffs. You've overcome a lot of obstacles. Now it's time to take the next step. And they know that.
Oh, yeah. And that's why you make these moves.
Yeah.
So you hope the roster can be at a spot where they can make that next step. But you're right. Haven't proven anything yet. They've had some really great rosters and haven't been able to get to the World Series.
Viewer Greg Klevgard says Edmonton needs some of that, too. Leadership. Well, that's why they signed Milan Lucic. It didn't work out. They tried. And lastly, it is January 28th. That's Bell. It's Bell Let's Talk Day across Canada, where Bell, the phone company and media company, have for years now got this discussion going on mental health. But I'm not banging that drum. I'm not retweeting a million tweets because to me, the mental health discussion is more than one day a year. That's my own personal beef. I'm not triggered by it anymore. And I applaud Bell for what they're doing. Nobody else is doing anything. They've raised millions upon millions for mental health research, support, you name it. I applaud Bell getting the discussion going. Nobody else is doing that. But it's a 365-day-a-year proposition. That's my only thing about Bell Let's Talk. Thank you for the one day. We got to pick up the slack the other 364. Nobody wants to talk about it. Right? I don't know how much progress we're making here. It's not Bell's fault. They're doing all they can. But we all have mental health. We all have it. Just like we all have physical health. You need to look at it the same way. The question is, do you have poor mental health or good mental health? Do you have poor physical health or good physical health? If you've got poor physical health, you're going to go train in the gym. You're going to do something. You're going to walk a block a day. What are you going to do for your mental health? That's the question. It is okay to be not okay. But it's not okay to not do anything about it or only talk about it one day a year. Applauding Bell, but let's keep it going tomorrow. Okay? Okay. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. You're home for the NFL. Our next guest is a big fan of the Four Seasons. Dave Patrician joins us next, the sports doctor from Winnipeg. You are watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, everybody, he's been waiting a while. I appreciate it. Just before we bring in the sports doctor, Dave Patrician, from our viewers on the text line, okay, for Prairie Mobile, 306-840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Scott in Saskatoon says, Bernie Federko, GOAT. Goat of what? Goat from Foam Lake. Best ever product of Foam Lake. Bernie Federko, maybe greatest blade, because he and Wendell's numbers are the only ones. Hey, I get it. Believe me. Retired. Jamie in Nova Scotia. Dupes looks like Don Johnson from Miami Vice. And you've already discussed it. Bell, let's talk today, but I have to add, please check out the Recovery Hour with RP, and please reach out to RP as he's been a savior along with my other idol and hero, Theo Fleury. You the man, RP. Thank you, Jamie in Nova Scotia. You're the best. And from DG in Saskatoon, he says, morning, guys. The greatest GOAT of all time is Pro Bowling legend Pete Weber. As he always says, who do you think you are? I am.
Do you know Pete Weber?
No. He says, in all seriousness, I'm voting Tiger Woods, though. So there you go.
When you get some time, YouTube Pete Weber. It's legendary.
I will. Okay. Oh, I have. He yells at the crowd, right? Who do you think you are? Yeah. Let's go to Dave Patrician. Speaking of goats, actually, you asked me. Nice jacket, by the way, buddy. Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. And Happy New Year to you.
Are you getting it now? When you asked me a while back, you're like, what does it mean when you guys say your show is a pasture of goats? You get it now, right? A pasture of, a pasture is a field where you put livestock. Are you with me on that, Dave?
Well, I'm not out to pasture quite yet, but I'm going to tell you something. You know, when you talk about goats, and I saw the poll a little bit later on, or a little bit earlier on today. Definitely Michael Jordan, because if you think about Michael Jordan in basketball, everybody knows him, and there's no debate about that. Football, there's a little bit more conversation, and Wayne Gretzky, there's really no conversation about that. So in baseball, there's a lot more guys you could consider, but hockey and basketball, those are solid choices.
Thank you. I had to Google it, who's won the most World Series, and it's 10, and it's Yogi Berra, interesting enough. But since you're in Winnipeg, and because we're getting so much runway in Winnipeg, and we love Winnipeg, you tell me, who's the GOAT of the Blue Bombers and who's the GOAT of the Jets? I'll hang up and listen.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets, I mean, we've had a lot of incarnations of that team. We had the WHA incarnation, and that would have to be Bobby Hull, because he was the guy that put hockey on the map. The NHL incarnation, I think it's tie between Dale Hawerchuk and Teemu Selanne. Even Teemu Selanne basically just had a cup of coffee here for his whole career. But, you know, the rookie record was absolutely one of the greatest chases that you've ever could experience back in that day. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, I know a lot of Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and I think of guys like Kenny Plain, who I never personally saw play, but I've been in a lot of different functions with him. He absolutely has to be in consideration for that. And you got to think about guys that have been around a long, long time. And I'm talking about Chris Walby, Bob Cameron, but Chris Walby would get my vote as the GOAT of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Nice. And I don't think there'd be too much argument in Winnipeg over that. We're going to jump around on this interview, Dave, brushing on quite a few topics, and because I know that you can do that with me. Here in Saskatchewan, a lot of talk about the CFL season, and while I was kind of optimistic and somewhat positive there would be one, particularly with the commissioner's comments last week, no, I'm not so sure. Please tell me in Winnipeg you're hearing something different. What is the take in your land about the CFL in 2021?
Well, there's not a lot of news. I mean, when I got the same letter that probably all of us did from Randy Ambrosi, talking about the season that's supposed to be coming up. Bombers are signing guys, as are the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So I believe that there's going to be some sort of season in 2021, but modified. I think, one of the great advantages of Canadian Football League, just like the NFL, we play outdoors, so you can get a few fans in there. It all depends really on what, TSN wants to do, because they're a big part of the decision-making with the Canadian Football League. If they think that's going to be ratings and they're going to get money out of the investment, I think they're going to do that. Basically, why I'm saying that is I don't think any team, unless you're allowed full capacity, will make money. And we're a gate-driven league, so it has to be a very big conversation between the teams and TSN. That if there's money to be made and putting people to work, they're going to do it. But what I'm seeing every single day with COVID-19 numbers and different variants and different strains, it's not looking good, because we're almost in February, right? So we're talking about 4 months away for the first preseason game.
Longtime CFL fan Alan Hordell writes in and says, ask the doc if the CFL can play without fans. And you've kind of just addressed that, but we'll come back on that. Jamie Anstey in Nova Scotia. Wasn't Milt Stegall a Blue Bomber? He was dynamic when I saw him. Well, they named a street after him. Isn't Hooters on Milt Stegall Way? Like, that would be the greatest honor of all time. It is, right?
It is pretty close. However, Milt Stegall never won a Grey Cup in Winnipeg. So I have that in my wheelhouse for why I think it's Chris Walby as the greatest GOAT.
What's he got, 3?
I believe he had 3, 84, 88, and 1990.
Right. So Bombers win the Grey Cup and the CFL ends. That's the joke, of course, right? Or the world ends, the apocalypse hits. Listen, you can smile, Dave. It's a joke, man.
I know, but it always comes from Saskatchewan with 4 Grey Cups since 1910. And, the Bombers up until a couple of years ago were in the contention as like the 2 or 3 most Grey Cups they ever won. So there's always a sore spot, right? Like,
trust me.
The Bombers,
I'm just having fun. I'm just needling you a little bit. You guys got 11, and trust me, I get it. And I'd like to think that you and I, and plus our relationship with Winnipeg here, we're leaving. The fans can fight over that. I'm not going to be part of it anymore. I'm just having fun.
What's most disturbing, though, is, the conversations that say that Calgary and Saskatchewan are the greatest rivals. That's the greatest rivalry. And I completely disagree, because I believe it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I think those games, Labor Day games, Banjo Bowl games, playoff games, those are tremendous games. I think that's the rivalry. I understand that people travel a lot to Calgary, they travel a lot to Winnipeg, but I, to me, think that's one of the greatest rivalries in pro sport.
Well, it is, and I've run a poll on it, and 77% of respondents from Rider fans said that it is Winnipeg. But I think we can get that it's somewhat of a friendly rivalry where Prairie Cousins were very similar in terms of people. The Calgary-Saskatchewan rivalry, Dave, is personal, and it's deep, and it's real hate. Okay? Yeah. So there's a difference there. But let me just go back a second to the CFL. Like, I'm hearing it more and more. People see this as the NHL's playing, the NFL's playing, these other leagues are playing. Why can't the CFL play? You must be hearing that in your circles.
Well, absolutely. And, of course, that happened all through November and December as the NFL games were dominating the television landscape. And, again, it goes down to when the CFL season was to start and those decisions were being made. That's when they had to pull the plug. Just like most things in the United States, they kind of throw caution to the wind a lot. And football is, more people watch football games or attend football games on Sunday than go to church. That's a fact in the United States, right? So I think it's more ingrained in that culture, and it would be devastating to the United States if they didn't play. That's why they play baseball. That's why they play basketball. We're a little bit more subdued here. Anytime that, think about the conversations that are had when, the government, when the CFL asked money from the federal government. Like, that was just like, people were, so upset about how could they do that? Why am I supporting rich athletes? Like, there's so many rich athletes in the Canadian Football League. So we're a different bunch here. Football fans, we're kind of like, well, they didn't play. Well, there's always next year. And that's what we are as Canadians.
I know. You just nailed it. You just nailed it, buddy. But I guess since I have you on, because I do want to talk about the Line A thing and the Jets, and incidentally, the Jets aren't playing tonight. 26 teams are, but the Jets are not. But let's just stay on the CFL thing for a second. I think people have really had their eyes opened in Canada as to the business side of the CFL, and it's not as lucrative as they thought. The CFL did a great job of the smoke and mirrors and having everybody believe that it is, but it's not a rich business. But how about Scott Milanovich? What's your thoughts on the Edmonton Sun report that he made $500,000 coaching Edmonton in a year that they never even played a game? Charleston Hughes got $10,000 from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Like, that is just doesn't look very fair to me.
You know, I don't like when people use the word fair because, you know, life sometimes isn't fair, but that's out of line. Like, what did Milanovich do to contribute to the Edmonton organization? I had to stop myself, right? The Edmonton, whatever they're going to be named organization, to like $500,000 when there's a lot of players. And I'm not talking about guys that go home and maybe have secondary careers. I'm talking about a lot of guys that are like, you know, 25 years old, 24 years old, that have invested a lot of their time in their training to play in the Canadian Football League and got the season yoinked out. And Charlton Hughes, like you said, is a great example. $10,000. I mean, who would you put on a poster to promote the Canadian Football League? Scott Milanovich or Charlton Hughes?
I know. And my commentary today on Cat Country is Charleston Hughes should be held up in the realm of Aaron Donalds and J.J. Watt in this country. He's led the CFL in sacks each of the last 4 years. He's a major star. And he got $10,000 this year, while the coach of a team that never even played a game got $500,000. No, it doesn't look good. It's not good. Who cares how it looks? So I guess, how do you think the CFL, when it does come back, Dave, looks? Will these imbalances be addressed? And will the salary structure change? What do you see in the future here of the three-down league that we love so much?
I think it's going to be reset like it was in the 80s when the major sponsors pulled out and the television networks pulled out, and you saw the demise of the Montreal Alouettes after the Concords and things like that. I think you're going to see a real reset. Like, you know, I remember in the 80s, and it was, you know, we had Cal Murphy as our general manager, and the stories are just so famous about guys taking salary cuts every single year. So I truly believe that we're in for a reset. We saw that with Adam Bighill last week when it was revealed he had to take a major pay cut. And here's a guy, you know, here's a team that won the Grey Cup with guys in the lineup. Would we have won the Grey Cup without Adam Bighill? I don't think so. So I think the league is going for a reset. There's no reason in this league, in this day and age, at 2021. Now, we know coaches put in a lot of work, but $500,000, that's out of control for a league that has a salary cap. The league has, you know, the highest paid guys about $750 before bonuses and things like that. A coach making $500, that's definitely out of line. And my apologies to any of the coaches that are watching, but really, when I'm thinking about that, I'll give you an example. I am a Minnesota Vikings season ticket holder, and my ticket for the Minnesota Vikings, watch the Minnesota Vikings play, it's a different scale, is $90 US. My ticket to the Canadian Football League Winnipeg Blue Bombers is approximately $90. What am I getting for my $90? I'm not getting the same product. I'm going because I'm a fan of the Canadian game. I'm supporting my local team, and it's part of a history of our city. It's a part of history of Canada. I'm not watching the best professional football in the world. I'm watching good professional football, at times great professional football, but there's an imbalance when you think about what I'm paying to watch the Canadian Football League compared to the National Football League.
You're nailing it today, Doc. I'm impressed. You didn't even know what I was going to ask you. But the CFL is at a crossroads here, or a juxtaposition. Sorry to the closed captioning guy. Of where how they want to be perceived and how things really are. They're meeting, right? And they need to face reality of what the finances are of this league. Now, just lastly on the Line A thing, has the city calmed down yet? And what's your take on dealing the disgruntled forward for another one?
Well, I was on CJOB that you're going to appear in mere moments there. I was talking to Hal Anderson, and I said there was really nothing better at a Winnipeg Jets game at Bell MTS Place because where I sat on the blue line, when I saw Patrick Laine open on a power play, that anticipation of them threading that puck to him was just one of the most exciting moments in sports. Be there live. It's not the same on television because you saw the guy open and you're basically, you know what's going to happen next if they get that puck to him. But that really was about it, because aside from the opening game where you got into it a little bit with the Calgary Flames, there really wasn't many other dimensions to Patrick Laine's game. But that one was worth the price of admission on a lot of nights. But a lot of times those shots went wide. A lot of times that you could see the frustration if he didn't get the puck. I didn't find him as a consummate team player. Now we could talk about Dubois a little bit in his little stunt in Columbus, but I think that everybody on the Winnipeg Jets is going to get better. You've seen it with Andrew Kopp. You've seen it with Nikolai Ehlers so far. As to your question about the city calming down, it was, I thought there was going to be a riot on Saturday. Like, I really did. Like, you know, especially if you go to social media, which will probably destroy the world at some point. But I think when people started thinking about it and they started thinking about the upside, when they really kind of went to their Google machine and they figured out who Dubois was, I think people really liked it. You can't be defined for that moment just before he got benched by Tortorella. It's going to be defined by what he's going to contribute on the ice. And I do truly believe that he's a better hockey player all around. So that's not to say that Patrick Laine is not going to light it up, or Jack Roslovich aren't going to light it up over in Columbus. But I think the Winnipeg Jets as a team got better.
Social media isn't the problem, people are. Guns aren't the problem, people are. Drugs and alcohol aren't the problem, people are. Bell, let's talk. David, love you, buddy. What do you got?
On that note, Rod, yesterday was a milestone in your life with 6 years sober. I just want to congratulate that. You're an inspiration to a lot of people. And it just so happens, of course, Bell, let's talk days the next day. And if anybody needed to talk, they reach out to you, because you're an example of what conversations will do.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Hope to see you soon, face-to-face.
You will.
All right, the sports doctor, Dave Patrician, from the Peg. What do you got, Dupes?
His hair's looking great. I hope he's still on. I don't know what he's doing with the flow, but if he grew it out a little bit or something, but...
If anyone would know.
To you, Dave. It looking pretty good, my man. Looking pretty good.
I think it's the bunny hug. We got to take
out the hair.
Yes. We'll be back. Sports update, viewer takeover. A lot of great comments coming in here. It's the RP Show, episode number 410 of Canada's daytime sports talk show continues after this on Game Plus Television. Live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, you know, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, this is going to be a great segment, trust me.
Are we getting into that?
No.
Okay.
We're just talking about analyzing dreams here. I'm educating the kid on what I think. But I also want to say, 12:10 today, p.m. Central, I'll be on CJLB 68, Manitoba's information superstation, with Cam, the host. Friday morning, 7:30 a.m., TSN 1290 Winnipeg. See what I'm saying? On the big show with Jim Toth and Troy Westwood. So I had a landline installed. Don't laugh. He's already laughing. I had SaskTel come and install a landline on Monday. So the guy came into the house. He's like, you want a what? I want a landline, okay? Put it over there by the toe rubbers and the bell bottoms. What? No, because I want the best possible quality. Landline's better quality on the radio than a cell phone.
Yeah.
But by number, no one will know. More people will have the phone number to the Oval Office, Joe Biden's desk, than that landline number. I don't want anybody calling me on it except radio stations across the land. That's why I put it in, because I'm doing so many interviews now.
It's what I tell you yesterday, right? The only guy in the entire world that's excited about his new landline phone
I'm so
is
excited.
Rod Pedersen. Yeah.
Well, I could go even further. I went to Walmart and bought, I won't mention the company, but I bought a portable phone. The guy from SaskTel said, just go buy a phone at Walmart. So I did. The quality wasn't very good. But my good friend in Saskatoon, Ken Wasden, the Waz, gave me a Dallas Cowboys phone.
Helmet phone. I
dismantled the helmet, took the phone out of it, and it works like a darn. It's 30 years old. They don't make them like they used to. I've become that guy.
That's outstanding. But I said, you got to keep the Dallas Cowboys thing and make for great social media content. Imagine on your desk, you pick up from a football helmet. Well, Rod Pedersen.
I am literally doing these radio interviews from the football helmet, but I took the phone out of the helmet. So you're right. I might have to reassemble it. But that's what's going on in my house, folks. Sports update. NBA All-Star voting opens today without any final determination yet if there will be an actual All-Star game this season. The league says that discussions surrounding a potential NBA All-Star game are ongoing. Last night, the Raptors dropped a 115-108 decision against the Milwaukee Bucks in Tampa. The Senators and Canucks meet again tonight at Rogers Arena following Vancouver's 5-1 win last night over Ottawa. The Canucks can go for the 3-game sweep of the Sens at home with another win. They've outscored Ottawa 12-2 in 2 games. Sens have lost 6 in a row, and they are statistically the worst team in the NHL. The Canadiens went 4-0-2 on a 6-game road trip to start the season and finally return home tonight to host the Calgary Flames at Centre Bell. Montreal's Nick Suzuki can become the first Canadiens player to post a season-opening point streak of at least 7 games since Andrei Markov back in 2008. Maple Leafs are aiming for their third straight win in Alberta and fourth in a row overall tonight when they face the Edmonton Oilers at Rexall. Did I say Rexall?
Yeah.
At Rogers Place. Toronto's win streak began with a victory over the Oilers at home Friday, with 2 more against the Flames in Calgary. Edmonton is back home after splitting 2 against the Jets. Rory McIlroy is playing the Farmers Insurance Open. That's why I was singing the tune earlier. In the commercial breaks, I was saying, we are farmers. Bump, 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 bump. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because
we've seen a thing
or two. Anyways, Rory McIlroy looking for his first tour victory since 2019 while getting a feel for the course that will host the U.S. Open in June. With 7-time winner Tiger Woods missing one of his favorite tournaments due to his 5th back injury, McIlroy and former Farmers winners John Rahm, Mark Leishman, and Jason Day topped the field at Torrey Pines. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, corner of Rochdale and Pasqua, and for Ben Cahoon's G2G Protein Bars. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours at g2gbars.ca. If it looks like I've lost weight, I have. It's because of G2G protein bars. Just putting that out there. From the viewers. From Mydale Mike. Did you put the landline phone on your desk by the typewriter? From John O'Flynn in North Vancouver. How many landline owners here? I know of Rod and I. Well, I am as of Monday. Wayne in Victoria, BC. A 30-year-old phone is better than new. What a statement on the quality of our products today. But I've known that as a 32-year broadcaster that I am. They don't make stuff like they used to. They don't make light bulbs like they used to.
I know.
So the old phones worked better, but whoever thought that I was going to need a landline until I've been getting asked to do all these interviews across the country, and I wanted to be the best possible quality. I'm going to do the CFL report when we come back.
Okay.
And viewer takeover. So hang on. Overtime's coming up, everybody. It's the RP Show when you are watching on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And producer Clark, and Moose DuPont, and Ryan, and Jordan, and Paul, and the whole crew. Who'd have thought that a discussion about a landline would get everybody so hot and bothered?
I know.
Trenton, Norway says, we have a landline at home for my international calls for the same reason as you. Better connection. That's why I installed a landline at my house for radio interviews. And the radio stations are very appreciative of that. Jason Smith writes in, he says, I had a landline phone until 3 weeks ago. It's now disconnected. Well, we all have our own reasons for doing things. We do the CFL report daily. Are we going to next week announce who the sponsor is, or what's the deal?
The ink's got to dry on the contract.
Okay, gotcha. So here we go. Here's what's going on in the CFL. There was never a doubt in Jeremiah Masoli's mind whether he'd be returning to the Hamilton Tiger Cats this season or not. The veteran quarterback was slated to become a free agent next month, but re-signed with Hamilton on Wednesday. In an interview, Masoli said, I know myself and my colleagues are definitely feeling that itch to get going and the pain of not being able to be together in the locker room and all the things that go with it. Our fans have stuck with us this whole time, and to host the Grey Cup is obviously something special. Meanwhile, the Toronto Argonauts have acquired Canadian offensive lineman Cody Speller in a trade with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the McMaster University product, who can become a free agent next month, and the Bombers' 6th pick in this year's draft go to Toronto for the Argos' 6th round pick this year. And the BC Lions have re-signed international receiver Benjamin Plou and added Canadian receivers Jacob Scarfone and Cordell Hastings. Plou is a native of France. He played 4 games for BC in 2019 after being selected 7th overall in the inaugural European draft. That is our daily CFL report. To the Prairie Mobile text line. Humming all over the place. And I'll remind you that our poll question today is, who's the GOAT of GOATs? Who's the greatest of all time of the greatest of all times? Who's the one star that shines brighter than all of them? And the options we put up were Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, or somebody else. And right now, Gretzky is running away with it. So from our viewers, from the 541, Randy Butler, he says, Gordie Howe is the best. A season back then was half the games and playoff games, and he held the record for years. Now they play twice the amount of games in playoff rounds. Of course, Wayne will break records. Also, Gordie was a hard-nosed player. Let's put an asterisk by this one. Go Habs. Well, the wonderful thing about shows like this and debates like this is I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer. I don't. Right?
That's right.
I don't understand. I'm not saying this guy is, but I don't understand why people get so hot and bothered over things like this. It's a fun debate. It's called a debate. And in America, they're saying totally different things than what we're saying right now. Craig Campbell from the Hockey Hall of Fame says, GOAT, best ever, Lionel Conacher, who predates television. Well, he got his due by being named Canada's top athlete of the first half century. So Lionel gets his due. Brady in Saskatoon says, hey, Rod, who's the GOAT of GOATs? Wayne Gretzky. Although you couldn't go wrong with any of your options. Habs played today. Raptors lost another game, but Lowry hit the 10,000-point mark and becomes the third Raptors player to do so. Go, Habs, go. They got the Flames tonight. That is going to be a slobber knocker.
Mm-hmm.
And from Metal Shingle Guy, he says, Rider Nation, Bomberland, and Edmonton can't lift the cup up by themselves anymore. XFL 2022. I got a thought on that, but I just want to read from John in Winnipeg. John, Winnipeg is your second home, Rod. I know, and I like it. I like it a lot. What movie?
Dumb and Dumber.
You got it. This is what I'm starting to think about. Continental Football League. Hear ye, hear ye. You heard it here first. This is what it's going to be. If the CFL can't play this year, and man, oh man, we're starting to hear more. Just last week when I started to get on board with this, getting positive, and declared to Kim Coates, the star of Sons of Anarchy, that the CFL is going to play. Now we're hearing all the negative Nancys, Debbie Downers. How about the negative Nelsons, to put a guy in there?
They're there too.
Put a man
yeah, exactly. We could.
The CFL can't play. They need full stadiums. Well, that's just not going to happen. So am I being too hard on the CFL for saying, figure it out, find a way to raise the funds that you need and get playing, because the other leagues are doing it. And I'll look specifically at the National Hockey League. They're finding a way to pay these salaries. And one player, Ryan Getzlaf, makes as much, actually way more than an entire CFL team. So figure it out. And if they can't, because they might not, Darren, Continental Football League. XFL, come on in if you want. Rock, you're CFL alum. You should know at least what we're talking about here. We got Tampa, we got BC, we got Houston, we got St. Louis, we got Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Montreal. Shoot, let's throw Moncton in there. Continental Football League, let's go.
It's a great idea.
Where's the downside on this? You got more teams, you got expansion money, because the CFL just can't seem to get this figured out.
I know. It might come down to that, out of necessity, breeds the greatest ideas sometimes. I just say, be open-minded to it. Be open-minded to the possibility that it's not always going to be like it was.
Donna Berger says, do more 50-50s. I don't think 50-50 is going to cut it. And if you're buying 50-50 tickets, buy it for the Kinsman Telemiracle at telemiracle5050.ca. Tori Gurley tomorrow, Reggie Begelton, and Martavius Bryant. Whew. You're not going to want to miss a Flame Tech Football Friday tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central on Facebook Live and right here noon Eastern on Game Plus. Truth's in the coffee. It's Truth Serum.